Hello YouTube, it's time for Dimensions and Entropy Tier 20 Guide. It is releasing at 2 AM, February 19th UTC, and it's coming with Kryle's LD and rework. Before we get rolling, y'all know the usual. Like this video, boost it in the algorithm, spread it around, share this video wherever you can, comment with your planned team. I'll be reading all the comments, so feel free to drop anything you like. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. I do both JP and global content, help the channel grow. I'm closing in on 3,000 subscribers at this moment, and I've been doing Dimensions and guides and other content for a while now. And check out my playlist in the card for other Dimensions and guides. The way I'm gonna lay out this video is I'm gonna do the stage theme, recommended roles, break down the waves, list the top units, and close it out. Alright, let's get into the stage theme. The boss takes extra weakness damage when you're attacking weakness. For like example, enchant and imperil. It becomes tough against brave damage at some point, so they want you to battery through it as well. And there's multiple conditions, 6 phases in total, and it's basically a Lufenia without an orb. There are some deadly attacks that can completely wipe you, so be cautious of that. But I'll go into that later as we cover the boss. Kryle pretty much hits all of these, which is why she's being sold on this banner specifically, and we'll go into why she's valuable here later. But let's go into recommended roles now. I can't emphasize this enough, this is the last tier. Bring out all the guns, all the bursts, the strongest things you got, you want to dump them here, because this is it. You don't need to save for anyone, any tiers, anything anymore. Redo old stages if you need to free up your strong characters. Undo the solos, etc. This is it. Just keep in mind, while these are encouraged and recommended roles, you don't need to follow them exactly to beat this stage. First, weakness damage. Again, Kryle is the MVP for this tier because she's on the banner for it. Kryle, on her rework, is an enchant and imperiler with her LD, and she can help you hit weakness damage, so that's real good for cutting through the boss's resistances. Next, we have Guy, who is also an enchant imperiler, and he's going to be mitigating against the frequent HP attacks, so that's good as well. Lightning already hits weakness, and Lightning is a beast. Lightning BT almost makes the stage free. And Dark Knight Cecil as well can hit weakness damage as he hits Dark and drops the Imperil as well with his HP damage up. The next role to cover is just raw damage. This stage is long, and you need some damage dealers to crunch through it and get through the very tight phases that might insta-kill you if you don't damage race it. For this, you could use Lightning, again, top DPS, Jack with his turn manipulation, Furion for his battery and off-turn damage, Machina for his high turn rate and free turns, Dark Knight Cecil because he's just a nuke, and Ultimecia. The next role you want to cover is healing, and this can be covered by Warrior Light, who's also providing HP damage mitigation and Brave regen to the party, and the Brave damage shields, although for some phases the boss ignores Brave damage reduction. Penelo for her crazy amount of regens and heals. Ramza, who has his heals on his Brave Plus and Skill 2, he could be sufficient enough if you supplement it with calls potentially. And Guy, who has HP damage mitigation and heals on his skills. Lastly, a role I think that would be very helpful would be turn manipulation, and this can take many forms. And while the main boss is not delayable by delay methods, you can still delete and you can still break delay at certain times. So this would be helpful for Lightning, who can break delay. Penelo, and while she doesn't have direct turn manipulation, she does have speed up, and she does have a lot of consecutive turns, which can prove beneficial. Omnia, it can delete turns, which is always great for this. Ultimecia, especially with her burst, has consecutive turns and can delete them. And then we have Jack, who can just jump in the turn order and move around. Machina can be used as well. Now we're going to break the tier down by waves. There's 2 waves officially, but wave 2 has 5 different phases for a total of 6 parts to fight. So I'm going to break those down individually. The phases in the second wave are pretty straightforward, but I'm going to break them down nonetheless. First phase is the Lunatic Blackened Will and 2 Lunatic Blackened Bonds. It is immune to launch and it is immune to delay. The debuffs it's immune to are Confuse, HP Silence, Regular Silence, Terror from Eldnarish, Sleep, all the good stuff. You gotta fight this guy head on. There's some nuance here, however. The Blackened Bonds, the ads on the side, they do all attacks that heal the main Blackened Will. They have Brave plus HP attacks that can ignore damage reduction, think Shields or Hope, for example, and they do a normal attack that doesn't ignore the shields, but it still heals the main guy. So you want to take these guys out ASAP, because as long as they're alive, the main Blackened Will in the middle is going to take reduced HP damage along with some other nasty thing. And anyways, you don't want them healing the main guy, because that'll just make you take longer. As for the main Blackened Will in the middle, like I said, while the ads are alive, it takes less HP damage. I think it's minus 20%. It's immune to break delay as well, so Lightning re-breaking with her EX won't work. While the Adge is still alive, it's going to do more aggressive AoE HP attacks, and it's going to take more damage via element weakness. On its first turn, before you even get to act, it's going to summon its Adze and then do a huge Brave Gain into an AoE HP attack that'll fill its recast bar. Recast is an attack that ignores Brave damage reduction, so like I said earlier, Warrior Light Shield and other Brave reduction effects will get bypassed, and it's just going to do a giant AoE HP. Once you finally take out the Adze, however, the main Black and Wool is going to delay itself, it's going to take regular HP damage, and it's going to be less aggressive with AoE HP attacks, and these are mostly AoE Brave attacks that get downgraded when the Adze are gone. And it also is no longer immune to break delay, although it cannot be regular delayed. For example, Lightning EX, whatever stance it's in, it won't delay the 2 or 1 turns depending on what your stance is in. Only break delay. The strategy here is to take out the Adze as fast as possible and deal a lot of damage to the main guy. You need to brace for AoEs, and be aware that when you get broken, it's going to charge the recast faster, and that means it's going to let off more attacks faster. So you want to give it as few turns as possible, take out the Adze, and then blow it up. If you're fast enough, you can take out the Adze and then continually break delay and slow down the main boss so that it never gets a turn again. Don't bring out Burst or Summon on this phase, however, you want to save that for later. This wave is going to take about a third of the fight. It's got a lot of HP, and especially if the Adze respawn, it's going to take a bit. So do what you can to get it down as fast as possible. Be turn efficient at the same time. Now to talk about Wave 2. Like I said earlier, there's 5 phases with different conditions in this wave. You kill the Black and Wool once, and it'll fully heal itself and go into the next phase. Debuffs do not get cleansed, so don't worry about it. However, it is immune to Confusion, HP Silence, Regular Silence, Terror, Sleep, and regular delay again. It can be deleted and it can be break delayed. Additionally, you can launch it now as well. The mechanic of phase 1 is that it reduces Brave damage taken while also increasing elemental damage taken. So if you got an enchanter on the team, or you're hitting weakness damage with someone like Lightning or Dark Cecil, for example, then you'll be good. Otherwise, your Brave damage dealt is going to be pretty bad, although it's still possible to battery through it, but you're going to be struggling a bit. It's okay to let them get turns. There's nothing terribly deadly, but you know, normal fight mechanics, brace for impact, heal when you need to, battery the party, etc. Phase 2, it gets very high Brave damage reduction. However, it increases Brave gain to all allies and the boss itself. Well, everyone on the field gets increased Brave gain. Any green numbers get buffed. So the idea here is to battery through this phase. Again, the boss isn't very dangerous here. Normal mechanics apply, but try and use battery skills to get through this. Maybe Calls, for example, can help you get through this, or anything like that. Kryle's EX, for example, would shine here because you have unconditional battery during all the phases. Warrior of Light and other batteries as well will be great. The third phase now is when it starts to get a little more deadly. If you get broken, it's gonna wipe the entire party. Destroy all your buffs, set your HP to 0, you're gone. So you want to be defensive as possible and not get broken. If you have Warrior Light or Gladio or Guy, for example, or maybe Kryle's EX buff active, you're probably not getting broken. But if you're not running a battery team and you're getting targeted, if you get broken, if you don't want to get broken, so Brave attack, don't get that break. You're going to have to restart all the way over from phase 1. The fourth phase is the really, really dangerous one. If this guy gets a turn at all, you're just going to get your HP set to 0 and your buffs wiped. That's it. You can't let him get a turn during this at all. So characters like Lightning or with turn manipulation, Jack, Machina, etc. If he acts, you're dead. So you need to do whatever you can. If you need to summon, if you need to burst at this phase, this is the time to do it. Because if he acts, again, you're starting all the way back over from the previous wave. And that is not fun. You will die. You can't use a freeze call, a freeze debuff, anything. You will die. Can't say that enough. However, if it's stunned, it won't be able to act and it won't kill you. So keep that in mind if you want to time Kryle's LD. Oh man, after you've killed this guy 4 times, finally you have one more phase to go. In this phase, the first all attack is a very strong AoE Brave plus HP attack. The second all is an AoE Brave attack. And the third all is the notorious wipe that, again, cleanses, debuffs, dispels you, sets you to 0, etc., blah, blah, blah. You want to get this guy down before that third attack. Whatever you got left at this point, throw it at him. The fight's almost over. Watch out for that first AoE. Second AoE can be stopped. And again, same with last phase. You can stun it to potentially buy yourself a little bit more time, but he's going to be very fast at this point. So it's really just a race to the finish. I know what it feels like to get this far and then crash and trip at the finish line. So try and pace everything accordingly. Save all the big guns for near the end, and you got this. Now it's time to hit the top units for the stage. Number 1 is obviously the one in the banner with the event, Cryle. She's the advertised unit. She has battery on her EX and skill 1, and the EX battery, which is very, very convenient, is that it doesn't decrease in burst phase. So if you time Cryle's EX and then burst while it's up, you're just going to get battery through it all, and you're going to have amazing output. The battery helps for the pro battery stages, and the Imperil and Enchant helps for the weakness damage phases, and overall she's just making everyone hit harder in general, and she brings a lot to the table as well. Lastly, she has the stun, as I mentioned previously, to buy more time on the insta-kill phases. She is stellar for this tier. If you pull her, you better use her here. Why not? Last tier, man. The next unit I recommend is Lightning. I've been saying for a while to avoid using her and save her for this tier for this specific reason. It's mostly single target near the phases that matter, and while she can't delay on her EX, she can break delay with her C65 and her EX, so this is very useful for gaining more turns. Her high turn rate prevents the boss from taking as many turns, and she just has insane output. If you have Lightning's burst, she does a crap ton of damage, and she will definitely make this, the end of the fight at least, very manageable. Additionally, she's already hitting weakness. She doesn't even need an enchanter. So that's incredible value for those phases that require, or encourage I should say, weakness damage. If possible and you have her LD, especially if you have her burst, use her here. Next, I'm going to recommend Warrior of Light. He has damage mitigation in the form of brave damage mitigation with his shields, although it can be ignored on certain phases of the fight, and HP damage mitigation, which is very powerful for when the boss HP attacks. He's all single target damage, although his LD does splash, but this is beneficial because his output is focused on the one target for the majority of the fight. He's got great battery on everything, provides party regen, and he's just doing his thing throughout the entire fight. Since most of his damage is battery based, he's usually not too dependent on hitting weakness, and he'll be consistent throughout the entire fight. He'll keep you alive and provide the party with good enough buffs to make you hit even harder and do more damage. Next up, I recommend Penelo. She has party support via her auras, her amazing auras, her battery, her regen, and she's got turn manipulation in a couple different ways. One, she has consecutive turn skills on her skill 1 and her EX. So the consecutive turns she takes, that means the boss is recovering from Eye Brave sooner without you having moved, and that can lead to a potential break delay again. Additionally, she provides party speed up, and the faster you go, the less the boss gets turns, which again is very beneficial for those phases when you don't want the boss acting at all. On top of all that, she now has Brave gained overflow to leak less Brave on her battery, so she can spam away or regen away, and the party won't feel like you're leaking as much Brave, effectively meaning that you're going to be doing more damage. Similar to Warrior Light, she's going to help you power through this fight just by sheer battery alone, not needing to do much Brave damage. Lastly, I would recommend putting Guy here. Guy's gotten a bad rap in the community because of his future, but that doesn't mean he can't be useful now, and oh boy is he useful. I used him myself on this tier to much success. He has strong post-turn battery, and his damage is alright on single target. The HP damage reduction and the heals are great for keeping you alive. The boss will not be taking you down when Guy's on the team. He's providing defense up so you don't get hit as hard, and additionally he's providing Enchant and Imperil with additional weakness damage up on his C65, which you can cycle in via his free skill after using EX. Just let someone go nuts with Guy's Enchant and you can easily get through this fight. I did it myself. If you have him, definitely put him through on this tier and he'll show you that he's worth it. There's a lot of variety on the stage, and as I keep emphasizing, this is the last one. So feel free to mess around, move around your tiers, see who works, try and use the reset feature that we got recently, which is a stellar quality of life, and see who works. Again, you can delete turns, you can outspeed it, you can no boss turn it, you can tank through everything and then burst near the end, time your summon, etc. There's a lot of ways you can do this. Just most importantly, have fun and get those rewards, right? I'm going to link a playlist of runs I've collected on YouTube by searching in Japanese and English for the runs, but hopefully that should be some help. And that's it. This is weird. I've been doing these Dimensions End runs, and it's weird going back to my old video. This is going to be a bit of an unscripted ramble, but I thank you guys for the support you've been showing. I've ramped up my game, and you guys have been showing love. Again, going back to my tier 1 video where I just did one take and read out a screen capture on OBS, and now I'm like editing footage together and scripting my videos. It's so weird. I just hope I've been able to help you guys. I've probably helped people get through this tier. I enjoyed Dimensions End so much, and that's why I wanted to do guides on it. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing guides for Transcendence because it's a bit more restrictive, and it's usually sent around the burst, plus we get banners for that content. Usually I'll do my little overviews for stuff. My content previews and poll plans will probably cover the brunt of what to expect. But yeah, I hope I've been helpful. It's been I'm glad I was here along the ride for you. I wasn't able to get the tier 4 and 5 guides out just because I had family issues around the time, and I just couldn't get to it. And by now, that stage is so crap that it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. I'm just off the cuff now, not even thinking about what I'm saying. I hope it's been fun. I think I've gained like 2,000 subscribers plus since I started this series. It's crazy to see the growth. Y'all just keep showing love. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. So go ahead, like this video, comment with your clan team, subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all so much. My team is probably just going to be a tough guy team, a Lightning, Warrior Light, and Ramza or Pinello or something. I just want to stomp it with Lightning. Ask questions. I'm around. Yeah, glad to have been here, guys. This is the end of my How to Beat Trent. I don't even know what it's called. How to Beat Dimensions End series. Stay tuned for more fun stuff coming. I'm feeling a little provocative lately, and you'll see what that means with my Vincent video. But anyways, have a good one, guys. Stay safe out there. Peace.